What if I told you there's a Pokemon card you can buy right now for just over $20 that just sold in a PSA 10 for $1,325 with 26 bids? There's only 30 PSA 10s in existence. It's not a typo, 30. I'm about to show you this card plus 5 more budget picks with insanely low PSA 10 populations that could explode in value. Let's dive in before everyone else catches on. Welcome back to Vegas Carddex, where we find the best budget Pokemon card investments that actually make sense. Today, we're covering some cards that some subscribers suggested, and with the Halloween passing us by, hopefully some of you guys got some trick or trades, or some of your children got some trick or trade packs. I found a couple more that are exponential, explosive, skyrocketing values that we're going to cover today. If you're new here, hit the subscribe button. I drop videos like this every week to help you build wealth through Pokemon cards. Let's start with the monster on today's list, the Kangaskhan EX from XY Flashfire. This is the card that proves low populations equals serious money. The raw price is $23. A PSA 10 just sold on October 5th for $1,325 with 26 bids. The population, there's 30 PSA 10s out of 431. It's a 7% gem rate. Flashfire is over 10 years old. The XY era full art EXs are notoriously difficult to grade due to the whitening of the borders and surface scratches. And if you'll look on eBay, like I always say, I like it because you can see it a ton on the back. In the blue parts, you get the white dots all over the place. It isn't the chase card. Most copies were played or stored properly. Combination of age, playability, and low desirability when it was first released means clean copies are rare. The recent sale shows real demand. It's not a fluke. People were fighting over this card. With only 30 PSA 10s, it has legitimate museum level scarcity. As XY cards continue to appreciate, secondary full arts like this Kangaskhan will follow. Look at what happened to the Charizard. I wouldn't be shocked to see some $2,000 plus PSA 10 sales within 2 years. We're talking about a card with lower population than some vintage holos. Buy raw copies, but you got to make sure they're clean. They're pretty easy to at least knock off your list, like to say, no, that's not even close. Inspect carefully. The thing I do like about eBay versus TCG players is they have pictures and you can zoom in on them. Looking for whitening, surface damage, and if you can't tell, it's an automatic no in my book. And only send near mint copies to PSA. It is a patience play. The upside is massive. You're looking at a potential 50 times return if you can land a PSA 10. Okay, we're going from $1,325 down to 50 cents. That's right. Our second card costs less than a pack of gum. It's the Darkrai Cosmos Holo from Trick or Trade 2024. This is one of the ones, maybe you got some this past weekend with Halloween. My kids were able to pick up a couple packs. My son actually got one of these, but the centering was way off. The PSA it just sold on the 23rd of October from the PSA Vault for $79. PSA 10, there's only 31 out of 168 submissions. That's 18.5% rate. It is one of the lower rates on our entire list. Even though it is from 2024, the holo foil is ridiculous to grade. It shows every scratch, print lines. The surface issues are crazy. I just did a short on a Gengar asking if I should get it graded, and I didn't notice it until I saw the video, but the top looks like it's peeling. To my naked eye, I am old, so it could be because I'm going blind, but I didn't even see it until I watched the video. With 31 in existence, it's similar in scarcity to the Kangaskhan, but at a fraction of the entry cost. At 25 to 50 cents raw, you can buy 20 of them for $5 to $10. Send the best 1 or 2, maybe even 3 into PSA. Hopefully they make PSA 10s. If you got it, you might be turning a profit there. The Darkrai has a cult following among collectors. It's consistently a fan favorite. The $79 vault sale proves there's immediate demand at the price point. It is a volume play. Buy bulk and just pick the best copies that you think you can get a good return on from PSA. Remember to look at it under a bright light with a magnifying glass. You want perfect centering, zero surface scratches under direct light. It is so unforgiving. You want to make sure. And remember, for the centering, it's 45% to 55 is the max that you can get for the front. But if you're able to hit one at 50 cents, you are looking at 150 times return without the cost of grading included. Let's move on to one of the subscriber choices, which is the Marill from Paldea Evolved. It is $28 raw. It had gotten up to about $40 in February. If you watch my videos, you know I love cards that have extra Pokemon in it. It's like getting an added bonus. And this one even includes everyone's favorite, Bruxious, with the craziest looking mouth and teeth. But anyway, the PSA 10 value is $280. The last one I could find was sold on September 20th. It's a 10 times return just from grading. There are only 630 out of 3,578 submissions. So I actually think that with that 17.6% gem rate, you're getting in, even if you bought the PSA 10 at $280, I feel like that's a great value with how hard it is to grade. Most moderns, secret or illustration rares seem to hit about 30 to 40% when I look into it. So that's why I do think this has possibility, even if you go in on the PSA 10, once people see how hard it is to grade, it may increase in value. But at $28, you're able to, if you're able to hit a PSA 10 off that, you're looking at a big return. And really, I do think if the population stays like this or the grading percentage stays like this, you could hit $400 to $500 within a year and a half, 2 years. It is a medium term hold buy raw copies while they're cheap. If you find ones with great centering, no surface issues, I do think that illustration rares from sets are no longer in print. They do typically appreciate at least 50% within 2 years. And remember, wait until you see card number 5 because there's another low pop gem that sold for even more than this Marill. Now we're back to another Halloween. We have our trick or trade with the most recognizable Pokemon in existence, Pikachu, the Cosmos Holo, 18 out of 91. And this was another subscriber had suggested this one, and I was looking into this one already. My son actually pulled this one too out of his packs. He got these two, and my daughter got the Gengar. The raw price is about $1. The last 3 that sold from the vault were $107.50, $112.50, and then $150. The PSA 10 population, it's a 25% gem rate. You got 227 out of 907 submission. Pikachu is always a smart investment, being the mascot of Pokemon. Collectors will pay premium prices for perfect copies of Pikachu cards. Even though the PSA 10 gem rate is higher, like I have said, the Cosmos holofoil patterns show every little thing, especially on the edges. It is a flip play. All 3 recent sales came from the vault, meaning people are grading and immediately selling it for profit. At $1 raw plus about $25 for grading, you're in for $26. Selling at $100 and $150, that's 4 to 6 times return in weeks, not years, when you do include the grading costs. The beauty of Pikachu is it's got consistent demand. You're not waiting for the niche collector to find your listing. Pikachu cards do sell, and they sell all the time. Just like the Darkrai, at this low price, buy as many raw copies as you can afford. Inspect them for the surface issues. Like I said, I saw mine in the video at 60 FPS. That's where I saw my issue with the Gengar. Send the 3 to 5 best to PSA. Let it go in the vault and list it immediately upon grading. It's a short-term cash flow to fund your long-term holds, like the Kangaskhan that we started with. If you want, you can use the profits from flipping these cards to build your investment fund. If you're able to find 3 PSA 10s, average it at about 125 bucks after the PSA and eBay costs. I'm gonna get 275, $300 profit. It should cover your Kangaskhan raw purchase plus grading with money left over. Here's a card I teased earlier, and it's a big one. This one is something you may not, you may have just thrown it away. The Umbreon from Trick or Trade 2024. Once again, maybe you lucked out and you got some, or your kids got some while you're trick or treating. It's the second highest value on today's card list. And again, you could probably get them for a quarter. I just round up to 50 cents. The PSA that two just sold on October 3rd for $142.50 each. There are only 281 submissions. 66 have come out, PSA 10, so that's about 24%. Umbreon is the top tier evolution with massive collector demand. The Cosmos Holo, I'm going to say it again, it's not on this card, so we don't have to worry about the surface issues, the peeling, the scratches. So I do feel like this one may be a little bit easier for us to grade. The two sales, and it was on the same day, prove that there's consistent demand at the price point. It wasn't a fluke. The market has established the value. I feel like you have both short-term flip potential and even long-term hold value, with Umbreon being one of the most, or having one of the most dedicated collector bases in Pokemon. People complete evolution sets. They'll pay premium prices for perfect copies. Buy as many as you can at a quarter to 50 cents, grade the best copies, and you can decide your play. Option A, you can flip it immediately via the vault for $142.50, somewhere around there. Maybe a little less, maybe a little more. It's a giant return on a 50-cent investment. Or you could hold it for a year plus. As the population grows slowly, demand will probably increase once people realize that this is a thing. It could hit $200 to $250. If you're able to, do both. You're buying a bunch of copies, you can try to grade 5. If you get 2 PSA 10s, flip one and hold one. This is a card that bridges short-term cash flow with long-term portfolio building. All right. Our most accessible one on the list is one that everyone can start with. It's Team Magma's Groudon from Celebrations Classic Collection. It is from the 25th anniversary set. The 30th anniversary set's coming up. There is a chance that it may cause a rise in price. But at $1.50, it is affordable to buy 10 to 20 of them. You're going to spend $15 to $30. And if you're able to buy multiple from the same person, you may even get a discount on that. Over half of them come back PSA 10. When it's $1.50 and the last one sold for 80, and there's another one that sold for 90, it's at least a 53 times multiplier. Including the price of grading, you're looking at about $27. It's a 3 times multiplier. You're able to triple your money. The population is higher, so that's why the PSA 10 isn't as worth as much. However, like I said, with the 30th anniversary coming up, I do feel like that it may rise in price. It is a reprint of the iconic Team Magma's Groudon from the EX Team Magma versus Team Aqua, one of the most nostalgic cards from the early 2000s era. Groudon has a dedicated collector base, and the Celebrations version bridges vintage nostalgia with modern accessibility. As I already said, if you buy 10 to 20 copies, if you're able to send in 3 of the best and you get 2 back, you're looking at a decent profit on $15 to $20 worth of cards. And then you got a bunch in case they go up raw that you might be able to flip on your own. If you found this valuable, hit the subscribe button. Drop a comment below. Tell me which one of these you're going to go after first, or even if you got some of these already. I read every single comment. I respond to every single comment. I love interacting with everyone. Remember, low PSA 10 populations equals scarcity, scarcity equals value. These 6 cards prove you don't need thousands of dollars to build serious wealth in Pokemon cards. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Now go hunt down these cards before everyone else catches on.